Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Faidat Badamosi, and this is day 3 of the Global Scholarship Summit 2020. And if you've been following us from day one, I'm sure you will attest to the fact that it has been informative, inspirational, and for me, I could say therapeutic because all the lessons, all the tips I've gotten from our amazing speakers, I'm just going to implement them and I'll see. I know they would work for me. So if you've missed some of our sessions, you can watch them on YouTube. Just search Global Scholarship Summit and make sure you share the link with your friends too. You should always win with your friends and you should always improve with your friends. So today we're going to be having Professor Olaniyi Fawole, and is going to be taking us through performance planning and prospects, aligning for maximum impact. So we'll take the citation of our speaker for today.
He is an associate professor in the Postharvest Protection and Preservation of Horticultural Crops at the University of Johannesburg, UJ, South Africa. He earned a BSc at Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria and an MSc at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. In 2013, he obtained a PhD in Postharvest Science and Technology from Stellenbosch University, SU, before his appointment and promotion as a lecturer and senior lecturer academic in 2016 and 2018, respectively, at SU. His industry-oriented research focuses on shelf-life extension of horticultural crops. His research strives to better understand the effects of various biotic and abiotic factors on growth, maturity, and storage of horticultural crops in order to develop appropriate post-harvest management protocols, tools that enable safety and environmental sustainability for economic and health benefits of all stakeholders that are involved in food value chain. He's currently leading research on alternatives to plastics and synthetic chemicals in post-harvest preservation of perishable horticultural products. He was awarded the National Research Foundation Y1 rated Young Promising Scientist in 2016. A standing ovation to welcome Professor Fawole.
Welcome, Professor Fawole. I can't wait for this session. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Faidat. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Let me quickly share my screen before I start. What I have in mind. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. It's good to join you guys, and thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate this opportunity. My passion has always been to connect with great minds, and I believe you guys are great. And I want to especially thank the coordinator of this event, Dr. Kelly Chukwu and Dr. Macaulay. I really thank you for this. I think you guys consider these guys as mentors, but I also want to say that they are leaders. And this is one of the things that we are lacking on the continent, the African continent, lack of leadership, role models. And I really think we need more of these guys and to motivate. And it's a pleasure to join you guys. I also want to thank the organizing committee, all the brains behind this on the background. I really know that this wouldn't have been possible without a team effort. So I thank you for this. If I may go through, I would also like to welcome all the viewers around the world. This is a global summit, and it's good to just reach out to you. I'm here in South Africa, and it's just past 2 p.m. And I know people are all around, all over the world, listening to me, maybe right now and much later. So I would really also want to thank you for listening. And the approach of my topic is, of my talk is actually give you a rundown of what I thought from my personal experience, and also to allow for questions that might actually pertain to individual or specific to individuals, and I'll be able to answer those questions in greater details. If I go, I ask Dr. Kelechukwu, you gave me this topic, performance planning, prosper align for maximum impact. I called him on Saturday, last Saturday, and I was like, okay, what did you have in mind? What was the core purpose of this summit? What's one thing that you would like people to walk away with? He told me one thing. He said, hope. That he wanted me to motivate and give hope to people. And I really reckon with that. We are living in an era now that youth, especially on the African continent, are losing hope very rapidly. And you don't want to get into a situation where you actually lose hope. Because if you lose hope, you lose everything. And it's very, very important. If we think about the Arab Spring, the Arab Spring touched on so many countries, disrupted, unseated so many leaders. And it's because of one youth that lost hope. It's one apple. It was exploited by police, they took his apple. That morning before he was trading his fruit, he promised his mom that if I'm able to sell my fruit, I'll buy you something, I think gifts. I'll buy gift for you. So that day was exploited. It wasn't the first time they exploited. The police took his apple, they kicked his apple. A loss of it, it just burned himself, set himself on fire. So we don't want a situation that we have people, especially youth, that have no hope, because it's going to be a very, very dangerous situation. And that's why this kind of summit is important, to energize, to give hope to people and to youth all over the world. And this not only about certain people. You think about what makes people to commit suicide, what makes people to go into extremism. This because they lost hope. Because when you get into that state of hopelessness, you lose everything and you don't think rationally. So the purpose of my presentation is to use education as an instrument of hope. There are so many ways you can hold on to your hope. And we are in the space of knowledge economy, in the space of empowering people through education. And I think this is one of the the tools that can be used, to give hope to the youth, and to also help them to actually hold on to hope that it's not over until it's over. So you see this, the education and in particular, quality education is part of the Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, it's number 4. And this talks about the importance of education in transforming the economy of countries, and for economic transformation in particular on the African continent. And as you see here, what the great Mandela talks about hope, that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So this one of the things that we have to put in the mind of the youth, that with education, they can actually be what they can. And not only with that, they can be what they can actually transform the world. I always tell people the most important thing about education is that you better your life. Then the second thing is you contribute to the society. So if you can sell that idea to someone that they can actually better their life through education and also be valuable, to be useful to the society, I think this is going to be a very source of inspiration and a very source of hope to our youth. There's an evidence that if people are more educated, the more people the more educated people you have in countries, the more transformation in terms of economic growth you have. And if you think about this developed world offering scholarships, they know the importance of this. They know that if they can offer you scholarship, if you can attend, if you can come to their country, they know that the long-term impact actually is going to be to their benefit. They actually benefit in the long run for maximum, for economic growth. And that's what countries on the African continent should be thinking about in terms of how do you actually invest more into education, because it's not a kind of just giving. It seems like you're giving, but at the end of the day, you're boosting, you're growing the knowledge economy, and at the end of the day, it's going to lead to innovation. It's going to lead to transformation, and and also set people free of poverty. So it's very, very important that we know that when there's an investment in education, there's also economic growth in the long run. And if we look specifically on the African continent and youth, when you talk about education, it's all about youth in particular. In fact, Africa is a gold mine. The potential is just incredible. When you consider the youth, the population of the youth, by 2050, Sub-Saharan Africa will make up 33% of the world youth population. Can you imagine that? In all the other parts of the world, the population of youth is declining. Only in Africa that you see this increase. So we see that there's now a drive towards empowering youth and using that as a transformational tool to develop the continent. And there's a huge focus on Africa. And then the question is, how do you as a youth align yourself to this prospect that is coming in the future? Because trust me, Africa will be a focus, the big thing in the next future. In fact, it's going to be the focus of everyone in other parts of the world. So it's very important that you align yourself, knowing this, the prospects that is available for you on the continent. How do you actually align yourself and make maximum impact out of this? So my strategy here is not to give you a recipe really for success. There's never a recipe for success. The only thing there's a recipe for is failure. If you just don't do anything, just sit down, you will fail. That's it. It's very simple. Recipe for failure is very, but there's no recipe for it. It's a accumulation of your experience, it's a accumulation of your network, it's a accumulation of so many things. And it's actually a accumulation also of failure, how many failures you've experienced in your life, how you actually handle those failures, and how you use those failures to actually move to the next level. And that's what I'm just going to share with you my career trajectory and also what I experienced along the way and what are the things that helped me along the way. As you can see, I started in, I don't even know when I started, but I finished, I think I started in 2001 to 2000 and 2001. There were two sets matched together in year 2000, I think 2000, 2001, because there was an academic year that was actually lost. So after JAM, I started in 2001 and finished in 2006. You know the story of finishing in 5 years, finishing a 4-year course in 5 years or 6 years due to the strike that we have in Nigeria. But that's not going to stop us. We still continue. And from there, I joined the University of KwaZulu-Natal for my MS. In fact, I didn't even wait to serve to do the service corps. I joined, and through connection and through information that I had through a colleague, that you know what, there's this university offering free tuition free. You just have to get a certain point. I think according to you have to get 70 and above. They don't use GTP. CGP, what do you call it? I don't even know. They don't use CGP, I forgot. They don't use that. They use percentages. So then if you get 75 and above, you qualify for that, and only for research, sciences. So through that, my colleagues were busy applying to the US, applying. It's like a crowd following one path. Myself and my friend is also a professor now. We will lock ourselves by here time, lock ourselves in the cafe, apply, write our, it's required writing a proposal. We learn about writing proposal, what we want to do and all that. We applied and we got in. And another information I had during this that encouraged me is that I actually didn't have to have so many, like the money, like to live another, because there were job opportunities for students also on campus to, that was able to actually pay for my living expenses. So while people are waiting, spending 5 years waiting to go to US, to go to, to go to Canada and so on, I took this advantage of it. And that's why I said I was the first professor. I think we only have two professors, myself and Professor Aremu, who actually we came together. As the rest are still, even the so-called first class and top student, they are still, they are doing well, but they are far behind. So the importance of it, information is very, very, you cannot underestimate it. So from there, I joined, I actually continued with a PhD in the University of KwaZulu-Natal. And I was doing ethnopharmacology then. And I told myself, what are the career prospects? That's also part of exposing myself to information. What are the career prospects in this? And how can I actually transition? How can I change my field, my scope? And that's how I changed to agriculture. I applied to Stellenbosch University. That was a year after my PhD. I was actually doing a PhD. And a year into my PhD, I switched for a better career prospect. And the thing also that enlightened me was that how easy it actually was to change from one field to the other. I've seen so many people that didn't study engineering that ended up in the engineering, having PhD in engineering. And that's one of the things you must know, that the way things work in Nigeria or in some other part is actually not the same as things work, because the value they uphold is about what you can offer, what you can do, your prospects. It's not about the degree you have. So, and they also consider how close what your previous degree is actually, how close is it to what you want to study. So if you really want to maximize, to align yourself for maximum impact, you really need to know the nitty-gritty of how things work in university and across the world. It's different, but you really want to expose yourself to different opportunities and how things actually work. And this will enable you to have different ways of achieving your goals. So then from there I finished, I moved on to a post. I did postdoctoral fellowship. I got very prestigious Claudian, very prestigious postdoctoral fellowship. And it was for 2 years. And from there, I became an academic at the university. And last year, I decided to join the University of Johannesburg. And while I was joining, they told me that no, they really needed to retain me. And then the question is why me? Why did they want to retain? Why did they want to offer me the same position that I was coming for? And so that we can keep the connection. And I'm going to share a few things that over the years, when I reflected on why am I, I'm a successful academic for my age. I'm under 40, and I've trained 6 PhD students, almost 15 MSc students. I've been all around the world. I stopped counting where I've been, and I can get to go to any country I want to go if I choose to be. There are some countries I just don't like, and I would never visit. So, so the thing is, I enjoy the academic freedom, and I consider myself as successful in my own right. But that's not the end, because what took me here or brought me here will not take me to the next level. So how am I working on myself to become better in what I do? What are my goals, and how am I actually align myself for that maximum impact? And that's what I wanted to share. I've got a few points for you here. One thing I wanted to say is that as I move from one place, one position, as I advance in my career, I mean, it's from one phase to the other. It sounded, I felt so well, so happy. But along the line, also there were a lot of failures. I failed a lot. And so if anyone told you today that they were just successful because they were successful, and they don't share their failures with you, they are lying. I mean, or they despise their failures. That person actually is lying to you. You failed big time. In fact, I failed, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. I mean, I'm in the sector where we have to always write grants, write proposals, and you'll be rejected several times. You'll be rejected. Some you will win, some. So the thing is, how do you cope with failure? How do you actually improve? How do you manage failure? How do you see failure as part of success? And this is very, very important in aligning yourself. When we talk about scholarship, so a scholarship is not just about the money. And some people focus, and that's why you see a lot of people wanting to go to US or whatever, 20,000 euros to Germany and whatever. Well, it's an instrument. Money is a tool. It's actually not about the money. It's about the future. When you think about scholarship, you should think about the future. It's for your future. It's not about the money. So if you find yourself an opportunity that even does not give you all the money in the world, or the 20 million, equivalent of 20 million rand that other scholarships are offering, it is just a tuition free. There's so many Scandinavian countries, I mean, universities in Scandinavian countries that are tuition free, So how do you align yourself? How do you actually sacrifice? Because it's not about the money. Money is a constant. Money will always be there. That's the thing. But do you want to be stranded? I'll use that word, because you just want to go to US, or you want to go to other things, applying just for one scholarship. So when we talk about scholarship, it's about strategy. It's about intelligence. It's about looking for different ways. It's encompassing. It's not just applying. It's actually, if you think about it, the heart of scholarship is actually the heart of success itself. So it's really something that you have to not only have to write an application or whatever, there's so many things you have to learn how to learn about for you to align yourself for maximum impact. So the first thing I wanted to share, if you really want to align yourself for maximum impact, you must define your goals. You must set goals, and you really, really want to have. You really want to know what you want for your life. You really want to know that you are not going out of the country because other people are going out of the country. You really don't want to study a course or a program because it's just available and it's offering the biggest money. You really don't want to go to a country because it's the most developed country. I always tell my students, consider the opportunities where the opportunity is sustainable. The opportunities are sustainable than the current immediate profit, so to speak. So if you have goals, not only that you will be able to, as you go along, you will be able to adapt, to change your goals, because having setting goals doesn't mean you can't change your goals. It's just that if you set goals, and I will talk about the other aspect that will actually help you. If you can set goals, you actually know what is good for you. And if you know how many ways, different ways to achieve that goals, you actually know you won't waste time to achieve that goal. And if the goals are, for example, for me, I wanted to be a medical doctor. And I just didn't want to be a medical doctor because it's everyone wanting to be a medical doctor. It's because my mom is a matron. She's got an hospital, a clinic, a big clinic. I grew up seeing people coming into the clinic with heavy hearts, with pain, and going out with laughter, going out with smiles on their face, going out happy. And I see this as a calling. And to me, I really want to help people in that way, alleviate people's pain, contribute to health. So health was my goal through, helping people through health. But along the way, I didn't get into the medical school, not because I didn't do it. Like I said, they matched two set together, and the cutoff mark was so high. And they told me that if I could get into botany or into zoology in my second year, I would be able to change. And I get stuck. I didn't change. But along the line, I figured out that there are areas of specialty in botany, pharmacognosy. I can study pharmacology. I can work in the health. I can still contribute to the health sector. And along the way, after I did ethnopharmacology at University of KwaZulu-Natal, and 1 year into my PhD, I also figured out that, think about it, food is actually health. There was something that struck me that let food be your medicine and medicine be their food. And when I read that, I was like, if food can be your medicine and medicine be the food. So if I can find myself in the food sector, I'm actually also contributing to health. So that really motivated me to change my scope, to change, including the prospect for jobs and prospect for, actually, it's a very niche area in post-harvest preservation. I find myself, very few of us, even around the world. And through my work, I get to know all those people. So setting goals is very, very important when it comes to career development and also allowing yourself for maximum impact. So if you don't have goals, you tend to follow the crowd. That's the thing. You tend to follow the crowd, and you'll be tossed here and there, and you actually not going to achieve anything meaningful for your life. The other thing I want to talk about is be informed, and I have already mentioned a little bit about this. You really have to be informed. I was informed because I knew all this, how I can change my scope, how I can align myself, how I can find myself studying by not even changing anything significant, but focusing on my area of expertise in a way that I can still contribute to what my passion was. And this also speaks a lot about having role models and mentors, to guide you. You really want to know that, I was talking about AI. Now AI is the thing, artificial intelligence is the thing now. And I was talking to a student, what do you want to say? I want to do AI. I said, yeah, come and do it with me. I'm in agriculture. They said, no, I want to be in engineering. I was like, come on, open your eyes. Can't you know? Don't you know that AI is applicable? You can apply. Don't you know that there's AI in agriculture? Don't you know that there's AI in everything? Can't you just think about it? You're still going to be doing AI, but you'll be relevant. You can be relevant in anything. So why do you want to be restricted to one department? It's not about the department. In fact, the walls of department is broken now. They are broken. When it comes to research, there's no more barrier. Everything is multidisciplinary. Everything is really multidisciplinary. You can find, I now work with people from economics, from wherever, everything's connected. I do give speeches and talks on food. And when you think about the interconnectivity of different sectors with food, you'll be amazed. I can work with anyone. So it's important for students to be informed. You have to be informed that goal that you have, there's so many ways that you can actually achieve it without restricting yourself to a particular department or a particular, it's not about calling yourself an engineering. I mean, an engineer. It's not about calling yourself a whatever you want to call yourself. It's about the impact, what you actually want to contribute to the society and how that can benefit your life and the prospect. So it's important to be really informed. The other thing is you have to work hard. Like I said, if you want to fail, don't work, don't do anything. Just sit your butt. Just don't do anything. You will fail gallantly. You will fail successfully. In fact, so it's important. I cannot tell you. I cannot exhaust this point. Work hard. You have to work. And I know we've got a lot of Nigerians out there, a lot of African youth out there that are very, very hardworking. But you also want to work smart. You want to work smart. So when we're talking about hard work, the hard work itself encompasses, when you are informed, your hard work will be channeled in a smart way to align yourself for maximum impact. So it's very, very important. And I mean, if take hard work from my profile, I'll be nothing, really. I'll be nothing, because even if you're given an opportunity, you need to work hard to prove yourself to worthy because when you're given an opportunity, if you work hard, you utilize it, another opportunity will come. Then another opportunity will come your way. So it's only hard work that can actually propel you into, taking advantage of opportunities that might come in the future. This one is also as important as hard work. This one, the hard work part will give you the CGPA, whatever you call it, will give you the awards. But when it comes to making yourself desirable and going far, I really think soft skills are actually very, very important. Very, very important when it comes to soft skills. And, hard work pays off, but soft skills actually pays off more. I've seen this attributes, it was during my postdoctoral years that I took this very, very seriously, that especially I was trying to hone my leadership attributes. And I see that all this, the way you approach people, your communication skills, especially communication skills, as a student or as a future leader in academia, communication is just one thing you really want to work on. It's all about communication in academia. We publish, we are judged by our publication. It's about communicating. It's about making sense of your numbers. So communication is one thing that I really think helped me, not the grammar. I'm not talking about the grammar, how fluent you are, but how clear you are, the clarity of your idea. And that's how you get to win proposals. Grants, the clarity of how you speak to people. I was talking to my student. He needed more money after. He has a scholarship, but he said the scholarship wasn't enough. That he needed more money. And then I asked him. After ranting and talking for like an hour, I said, "How much do you need?" He just laughed. He didn't. He had not thought about that. He had not thought that. He was busy wasting my time talking about roaming about the bush. And when it comes to clarity, I said, how much do you really want? He said, I haven't thought about that. I told him, get out of my office, because you really want to be clear. When it comes to communication, you really want clarity is important. It's not about you writing, you want to save the world. How exactly do you want to save the world with your proposal or with the problem you're trying to solve? So it's very, very important. The next thing I want to talk about is, failure. Failure is part of success, really. And when I say embrace failure, it's not really that you should now decide to fail. No, but the thing is, you will fail. And the earlier you fail, actually, the better. Because if you can learn from your mistakes, you will have actually um, saved yourself of future, mistakes, and you probably also will be an inspiration to others, and more people will not fall into that pit that you are falling into. So if you fail, know that failure is just part of success. It's part of it. And if you are humble enough, you actually learn from your own failure. And true learning actually comes from being humble and acknowledging your mistake and learning from your mistake. So we can learn from many people and a lot of people, but we forget to learn from our own mistakes, from ourselves. So it's always important to to embrace failure and use that as a learning opportunity for growth. Very, very important. Very, very important. That will align you for maximum impact. Another thing is leadership that I want to talk about. Not everyone has this skill. I've seen it. You see, when it comes to leadership, you must know that people are watching. When it comes to leadership, people are watching. And that's why when an opportunity arises, that's why when people say nominate someone for something, for a position, that's why a majority always call on someone, mention someone's name, because people are watching. So if you know, like I said, not everyone will be a leader, but if you really know deep down inside your heart that you are called to lead, because from that, you will know if you are selfless. Selflessness is part of the key attributes. If you think about people, if you're always concerned about people, if you're thinking about promoting others, if you think about, sharing ideas, which I like, brainstorming, working with people, you probably have the quality, and you don't want it to be latent, you don't want it to be passive, you really want to work on that because people are watching, and that can actually align you for maximum impact. You really want to use that to grow your career. This more like the last slide that I have. And it's about taking responsibility. All these things that I've talked about, you must know that it's all about you taking full responsibility. Everything is your responsibility. Whether you want, whether the soft skill, and whether your goals, anything, everything is your responsibility. In fact, your failure is no one's fault. It's no one's fault. And it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility. I always tell people the decision we make are actually judged by the outcome. So there's nothing like good decision or a bad decision. It's judged by the outcome of that decision, really. If you fail today, people will say it's because you did X, Y, and Z. If another person took the same decision and they succeed, I would say it's because it's a smart guy. He did this, he did it. But it's all about your responsibility. So how do you make use of your judgment, your discernment? Everything is your responsibility. And if you give up blaming, complaining, blaming others and making excuses and all that, you know that you actually align yourself. You take full responsibility for your life, because in academia or in education, the first thing is you use it to better your life. So if you cannot take 100% responsibility, then you cannot better your life. The second thing, you want to be useful for the society. So if you want to be useful, it's also your responsibility. So it's important that you take 100% responsibility for your action and for your success as well. One thing, we are in this COVID era, and we see COVID as chaos. We see COVID as a problem, but also the mindset of opportunities in the midst of chaos is also important. I think we have to talk about this much more to youth, that when there's chaos, especially in some part of Africa, countries in Africa, where there is instability, there's chaos, NSAS and all that, what do you see? Do you see chaos or do you see opportunities? So it's important that you have the mindset, the winning mindset, even in the midst of chaos. A lot of people have become billionaires during this COVID era. And we don't want COVID, they didn't wish for COVID to happen, but you really want to see opportunity. You need to have that mindset, the winning mindset, and align yourself, to take the opportunities that might, present themselves during chaos or in chaos. So one thing, this is the last slide. Everything that I've spoken about, we always, give presentation and walk away. But this forgetting curve is fine. You will forget this. You forget, and it's natural. In fact, it's at times it's desirable to forget. It's good. But the most important thing is taking action. So if you don't have to remember everything, you take the one, even if it's just one point that applies to you, that you really want to work on. It's important you take hold of that, you are conscious and mindful of that, and take actions on those points or on that particular point. And I hope I've been able to, to inspire someone today and motivate someone today and help someone to keep up alive. I thank you.
Totally. Thank you so much, Professor Fawole. I mean,
Thank you.
this is so amazing, and it's an awesome session, a very, very awesome one for me. Really, you've inspired me. If you're asking if you've inspired anyone, you've inspired me. I mean, thank you for all these salient points that you've given to us. If you're watching this session right now, I keep telling you it's one thing to attend webinar sessions. It is another to take action, like you said. Take action, take action, take action. I'm saying it again and again. It's one thing for you to write all of this down in your notepad, and it's one for you to implement them in your life. It is important that you do that. And from this point he has given, if you take action and you implement some of this in your life, it's going to be a thing of opportunity meeting preparation. Just like the topic says, preparation, planning, and prospects, aligning for maximum impact. So we're going to move on to the question and answer segment now. And I'd like to ask, or I don't know if this is a question or a comment. You mentioned that a lot of us like choosing the US or the UK, and we try not to go to the other countries. I feel that maybe a lot of us have this mindset that if you go to the US and the UK, or if you go to the US or UK university, it will be easier for you to just transition into the industry and get a job. Not everyone wants to go into the academia. So I don't know, is that really how it is? If we go to these other universities that are not US, UK, are we going to get those top positions that we're aspiring for and the likes?
So for me, I think it's about the skills you actually acquire. If you go to Afghanistan, you acquire the relevant skills, I think you'll be marketable. I think of course, the ranking of the university matters. You don't want to go to a mushroom university.
Yeah.
But the skill, but trust me, US has a lot of mushroom universities. So a lot of people don't know that going to US doesn't mean that you actually get the right education. The education system is also, there's no perfect system. And if you think about the UK, I mean, imagine UK in science doing masters, thoughts. How can you do thoughts?
Do a thought masters.
Masters, what are you doing in thoughts in science? Doesn't make sense. So are they just using you do you just want to go because you hold the certificate and have nothing to offer? Because if you think about UK, it's using the main source of their revenue, such as through education. Foreign nationals come into their system, paying a lot of money. Of course, some people get scholarships and all that. So for me, it's about the skills you acquire. And I can speak a lot about South Africa. Even during my master's, I was able to travel to attend an international conference. Through my PhD, I was able to travel 3 times, internationally. So it also depends on the opportunities I would rather be in South Africa or be in another country that to take me, network me, broaden my horizon than to stay somewhere. I mean, US, don't get me wrong, it's good to go to US. In fact, for me, at this stage, if it's a decision that I don't want to go to US, or they flew me to US before for an interview. Of course, I didn't get the job, but I was a top candidate and all that, and I get to see how the system works. So the thing is, in US, if you're also thinking, depending on your goal, if you have a clear goal, US is a place where you can thrive when it comes to you want to be a startup inventor, or whatever you want to call it. If you actually, the society, the country gives you the opportunity to actually start something if you are innovative enough. So just going, if you have a clear goal in mind, I think just going to US is not going to do justice to it. It depends on how informed you are, knowing so many other ways of achieving their goals, and knowing that you can be whatever you are if the opportunity is there anywhere in the world.
Okay, thank you for that response. So it's really about you, and it's really about the person and not just about the university. So I have some questions here. Someone is asking, how can one get access to tuition-free countries, Prof?
And that's also part of being informed. I mean, you have these great guys, Kelechukwu and Macaulay, giving webinars and giving information and all that. You just have to, I suppose, connect to the right people. You can get, I cannot, it saddened my heart when I heard about the news of this first class students and farming, first class. I don't know if you had
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the thing is, don't ask me, really. I'm going to tell you something. Yesterday, a friend, we studied together because I went to School of Science and we were mates together during those years. He sent me a message yesterday asking me, he said, "Oh, Prof," he calls me Prof now. Prof, it says, I know you're at the University of Johannesburg and also you're at Stellenbosch. Can you check for me? I just want to come. I want to do anything related to social science and all that. Can you check for me, please? I replied, I said, you know what, I'm in science. I'm in this particular, I'm in very small scope, research scope. I don't care about those other, I don't care. Unless if I have a collaborator, then I care. I say, the process that will take for you to Google, to check, to make use of the internet for your own use is the same thing I'm going to do. I also have to Google. The fact that I'm in university doesn't mean I know everything. So I say, you better have to take responsibility for your own life. So you asking me, how do you get access? So you expose yourself, get connected to resources. If you're asking me as an academic prof, I don't know. It's only people that are actually in that space that can give you the information. You ask me about how you can do research in my particular field, and I would spend the whole day telling you. But so you see the strategy as well. Asking someone, you thinking that this person will know everything because they're in that space. It doesn't cut it. There are people that specialize in that, and there are even ways you can actually find this out. I mean, I knew a long time ago that a lot of Scandinavian universities actually offer free tuition. Even in South Africa, it's big. I mean, while I was in Nigeria, I knew about this through doing my own personal research. So do your research, get someone to mentor you, roll with the right people, ask questions. Don't when work with someone, share information. If you share information, you will be amazed how much information will also come to you.
Totally, totally. Someone else is asking, what do you advise a student who is pursuing a straight PhD from BSc? What skills do I need to gain in order to become relevant?
Okay, that's a very interesting one. I think this happens. I don't know. It might be if you get first class. I think in the UK you can go straight. I think also in the
Yeah,
US
in
it
the
depends on
US, you
the
can go
yeah.
straight.
You can go straight. I think you see PhD is a different ball game. It's really not only about how smart you are, because a PhD is more mental strength. So it's even more about your maturity, how you can cope with stress. It's more about time management. I mean, you can spend 10 years doing a PhD if you're not careful, and you can drop out. I know a lot of people that drop out from their degree. So at times, it's important to actually go through the system from master's. But if you have the opportunity to, to go straight, you might think, well, it will save you some money, it is fine. But if you have the ability to cope with the stress, the ability to, the critical thinking ability, because a master will actually stimulate that critical in-depth thinking ability. And when you move on to the PhD, then you can fly. So if you have that, because PhD, you own the project, the failure is yours and the success is yours. So you're actually more like the PI of the project. So unlike master, that they still carry you, they still guide you all through. So if you think you have what it takes in terms of the mental capability, and not only being smart, but also the soft skills, how to manage your time, the critical thinking ability, I think you should go for it. And also think also there's a door or a room for learning. If you open yourself, to learn, and to, especially if you move with senior colleagues, you actually do better. So I think it's a good idea. You already work hard for it. That's why you qualify for it. So I really think you can go for it.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. If you permit me to, should I say or ask this? When you were speaking earlier, you mentioned something like so-called first class in quotes. So it got me thinking, you're a professor, and a lot of us have this mindset or this thinking that it's only first class people that become professors. So I don't know, would you want to share your class of degree just for someone
Two
out there
one,
who is
two,
not
yeah.
first class?
I got 2-1, and I think really having a first class is good, but replicating that going forward, when you get to masters and PhD, it's actually not about how smart you are anymore. It's about recognizing what got you that first class. What are the salient attributes? The hard work, the time management, sacrificial life, prioritizing, all those ingredients that you think is actually non-academic if you think about it. And that's soft skills. You see, we have some skills that we don't know. You see a first class person, you think they are smart. Not really. Not really. It's because they actually have some attribute that other people don't have, and they're able to use that to their advantage. That's really what, so when it comes to first degree, and that also speaks to how you can manage success. You see, you think having first class, in fact, having 2-1, because it's also good. Having 2-2 is good. But you really want to think about what hand you that success, and how you can use, how you can decide, or how you know that what got you here, what brought you to that first class will not actually take you to the next level if you don't really improve on yourself. So when I say so-called, I didn't mean it's
That
hard
was
work.
just
You had
in
it.
quotes. Yeah, that was just in quotes.
Yes.
Yes. So someone is asking, this is even, I think, related to your field. What are the career prospects for students of pharmacognosy and horticulture?
So there's one aspect that we call phytochemistry, where so horticulture, so I mean food. Now, when you talk about food and nutrition insecurity, I mean, think about it, 820 million people on Earth are food insecure. Some people die every minute of hunger as we speak. So if I spent 1 hour, so 60 minutes times 7 people, you know, must have died of hunger in the world. That's what the statistics say. So nutrition, and when you talk about nutrition insecurity, nutrition is related to health and the eating hunger. Also, we call that nutrition if you're deficient in the nutrients. So that focuses, there's one aspect that looks into phytochemistry, you know, the bioactive, how the nutrition actually promote what can we eat. And when we talk about food insecurity or contributing to food security, one of the tools that we actually use is diversification of our food system. And one way is to explore indigenous crops, you know, unexplored crops, you know, all those local crops that we don't, you know, they are not mainstream. And it's because of their phytochemicals, you know, health promoting attribute. And so this really has a whole lot to do with the pharmacognosy. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. We have just a few minutes left, so we'll try to run through the remaining questions within 1 minute, 30 seconds. So someone is, well, this saying you should please share your experience on overcoming the stressful system of going through a PhD.
Okay.
Can you run through this in 30 seconds or 1 minute?
The one thing that I think will make you overcome is if you get a placement immediately. There's something called post-PhD trauma. If you work hard, really work hard during your PhD, you will have that trauma. And how long it's going to last is dependent on how you better your life after it, because there's this expectation that after PhD, then money will start coming, you know,
Oh, yeah.
You get jobs and not. No. I know a lot of jobless people that have PhD. So I think how you better your life after PhD is what can it help me, because I got 2 fellowships. I had to choose, you know, between 2 fellowships. I chose the prestigious, and that propelled me. So I got over it very, very quickly. So what happened after PhD is actually what will help you get over it.
Someone is commending you, and I'm sure everyone is feeling the same way, that your consistent progress is very, very impressive and amazing. So Esther is asking, what can increase a person's chances of getting scholarship for PhD?
Well, if you think about it, you don't appear, you don't stand in front of people. They don't interview you. What is your SOP? Is your CV? Is how you package your material, scholarship material. So I think clarity, you know, SOP, you don't want to take it for granted. You don't want to, if you are required to write a proposal, you really want, you know, a postdoc was sent me an email. She wanted to do a postdoc. I said, send me what you want to do, send me a proposal. And that's how I judge. So really, you want to work on your communication skill, how you can write things, because that's actually the process, writing something and send it forward. And you are judged. Of course, your academic record is important, but after that, they look at what you actually, you know, want to do going forward.
Okay. Someone is asking, would you be open to supervise a PhD student of biotechnology?
Yeah, but you see, as an academic, we are beggars. We are beggars because we always look for money, for grants. And when we get that money, and then we make a call to get students. So yes, If you have your own money, I can supervise you. But if you don't have your money, I can only supervise, I can only take you on if I have the money, the grant to accommodate you. So, but when it comes to, mentoring, I can mentor, I can help. I do help people, even out of my, tight time. But yeah, I'm always open. It's actually the most fulfilling part of my career. Knowing that a student will come in on day one, knowing nothing, and then they graduate at the end of the year with the knowledge gap now very close. Even some know better than I do on that particular topic. That really gladdens my heart. That's, you actually empower people, and knowledge is really powerful.
It is. Thank you. Someone is asking, how does one position himself when applying for scholarship with the ultimate goal to move into the industry, like after the program, I believe?
Very, very important question. I got a placement for my student, my MSc student. She graduated this month, and I was contacted. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and so an agent contacted me that they were looking for someone that would work in the avocado industry, and I just nominated a student, and she messaged me not long ago today that, thank you, what a great candidate. Said, well, that's what the thing in my strategy is, you see, I'm in applied research. So I have no choice but to work with stakeholders. And I try to carry my student along, not only to do the applied research, but also interact with industry stakeholders. I see one thing that is very clear. Those that have that skills, soft skills, you see them well connected, make friends with stakeholders, with industries and all that. And they actually get jobs at the end of the day, or better their life. So having the industry ready for you is not a guarantee. It's how you are connected. I noticed that during my PhD, I noticed that it actually took a year for me to gain trust, because when you work with the industry, I work with farmers, I work with processors, I work with packers. You get it because you are new, and they have a way of doing things. So it took me like a year to actually get to know them, connect with them, and gain their trust. So if you are the person that doesn't have the social skills, you don't have the networking, you don't have the communication, you don't reach out, forget about it. So it's not really about the industry, it's about how you align yourself, you position yourself for that industry.
That's the word, positioning yourself. It's all about you, really. So I just want to say that thank you so much for inspiring a whole lot of us this afternoon. It's been so amazing, and you're a professor under 40. I'm still trying to take that in. I'm still trying to take that in. Like, everyone, if you're watching this, just know that your dreams are valid. Your dreams are totally valid. It is just you positioning yourself for that dream. So, Prof, I would just say, if you have any parting words for us, I'm sure you do. Please do.
Yes, I do, and it comes back to not losing hope. I really think what is going on, especially in my country, is really. I mean, I'm from Nigeria. It's really, really nuts. It's a situation where people can really lose hope. There's hope, and we are the future. The future cannot materialize without us. You are very, very important, and we need you to keep that hope alive, and do whatever you can. Work hard, position yourself. All these attributes I've mentioned, and know that there's no recipe really for success. It's about how you make use of the opportunities that come your way, your judgment and everything. But there's a recipe for failure. Just don't do anything. And I wish you all the best.
Okay. I know I already said we're closing now, but someone is asking again. There's still another question,
That's fine. That's
yes.
fine.
So someone is asking, does one need a number of years before they can be a professor, or is it a matter of experience?
That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that question. At the beginning of my career, one thing I decided was to take age out of the equation for me. Not time, but age, because time is running, time will always run, but you have to take age out of the equation. You don't have to be old, you don't have to, and you don't have to be young, you don't, just take that out of the equation. I think if you work hard, you take advantage of all the opportunities that come your way. I think you don't have to. And one thing I also always do is wherever I find myself, I always ask this at interviews, even after, they will ask you questions and all that, and they'll say, do you have a question for us? The question I always ask is, what do you consider as success in this position? You want to hire me? What do you consider as success? You tell me what I need to be successful. And once I know that, yes, clear. Once I know that, I work towards it. Because for every step, for each step, there's a requirement for you to get to the next level. In any organization, you need this requirement. If you work hard, you take age out of the equation, work hard, get that, be proven, prove that you are qualified, you are worthy of the next position. You don't consider your age. You consider the value that you can put on the table.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prof. And I must really say thank you to the organizing committee that has given us this platform to listen to amazing speakers, to inspire us to do more and do better. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, organizing team. And thank you, viewers. The fact that you're even watching this means you're already taking a step to be better. And I hope that you're going to implement everything you've learned from this summit since day one. So this is the end of this afternoon session. I hope you join us by 6 o'clock, and don't forget to share with your friends. Share with your friends. Share the link with your friends. They can always go back and watch the replay. It is important to win with your friends. Thank you, and see you in the evening.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers.